It's a team that not many of us seem to think have hit their peak just yet, and yet they keep finding results. Dignitas trying to march their way closer and closer to a spot over at Sweden, Johnny. But they've got a very game SK Gaming ahead of them, full of players that want to prove that they can head up from last season.
Yeah, and remember that this SK Gaming team are in the exact same position coming into this event that Vitality are in. So we've had a lot of talk about Vitality. Obviously, that was a bigger shock to see them go 0-3 in the first event. That's the exact record that SK Gaming had. So unless they can progress here, they're in big trouble in their run for the major. They're a team in the conversation coming into the season. They're not in it yet, but if they can beat Dignitas, they will be.
There we are, game number 1 of this best of 7. Reminder as always, both teams have got access to a timeout. We've seen them used to great success over the past few tournaments. But the last thing you want to be doing is have to be the team that uses it first. As apparently Jack, great boost still from him. He takes out a player. That's going to leave a little bit of a gap off the backboard. Scrub Killer moves for it. It's off the crossbar. And because he went for net, it made the follow-up shot much more difficult. And Dignitas are going to keep some pressure on, though.
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, sometimes just hitting the bar a bit more softly will give a teammate an easier shot in the follow-up. But Dignitas, they do fancy their chances from those tight angles. All 3 players very confident in their accuracy. And I like the progress they've made. Look at this from Jarius. He's denied by Tox. Key that Tox was able to hit the ball high on that save as Jarius was coming in looking to try and dunk him on the goal line. Dignitas make big strides in the Swiss stage of this event compared to the last one. They made it in 3-1 instead of 3-2. I think they've gotten better, and you know, they're not peaking yet. But I think that also speaks more to the peak ability that this roster does have.
One thing I did really like there from Dig was the way they approached the offense. They knew they had control of the midfield, and they just allowed their players to show off the mechanical skill they've got. You know, force players into the goal line to try and stop it. Apparently, Jack and Jarius are a Scrub Killer solo play. Guess what? Not really all that easy. And now, off the backboard, they're looking for the setup. We have a miscommunication, though, from Dignitas. But this is a spot they keep finding themselves in. That midfield has belonged to them. Now, Ixo, he's got past one. But the early jump from apparently Jack means that Jarius' time is that much easier.
Yeah, hard to beat Jarius or Jack in a 1v1, never mind a 1v2. Ixo giving it a good go there. SK Gaming having to survive early on against a lot of Dignitas pressure. They managed their boost brilliantly. Now looking to break into the Dignitas corner. Dig likewise, keeping up to speed. They have not looked in trouble at all in this matchup so far. And I've got to give a little bit of hope or copium. It's one or the other. You take your pick, Twitch chat. I did see that Dig were warming up against Retals, Shock, and Gyro. So if they lose, you can blame them. But if you win, you can thank them.
Can never tell with Retals whether or not that's part of a long-term game. If he thinks Dig winning this, you know, even less likely that Vitality will make it. Maybe even a little bit less likely that SK will make it. We don't know where exactly those loyalties lie. Here we go, a shot from Brandon Jack, nobody back there. And this has been the most controlled Dignitas that we have seen.
Yeah, really good play there by Dig. They didn't go all in for the play, but they still managed to get an open net for themselves. Focusing very much on their recoveries at the moment, so that they keep on moving back to the midfield line after committing forward. And that gives them confidence to move in one after another. Almost getting a second there, although I think Ixo knew that Jaria's shot was going to hit the post. But at the moment, it's hopium for Dignitas. Good warm-up there against their NA rivals.
This has definitely been much, much cleaner than we saw from them 2 weeks ago during the European Open. And maybe from what we were hearing from Leaf and Gibbs in the green room, even more careful than what we got yesterday from them, as that's going to bounce very nicely off the side. Here goes Scrub Killer, he goes high with it. And Scrub, I feel, is just, he's played very well so far, but he's got to find very quickly whether or not it's to be a shot on net or a shot above, because I think he's got that decision wrong twice now.
Yeah, they've tried to go for these backward passes, but the reason we're not seeing a third man committing on joining in the play is because it just doesn't look difficult enough for the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper looks like he's got an easy read, and SK Gaming, of course, very consistent in the air when it comes to defense. Tox especially known for his ability to just sit back, pre-jump, read everything. So unless something looks like a really, really tough one to save, you might just see Dignitas wait on it. There we go, Jarius has a man behind him, he's second man in the position, he's confident to go. Yeah, if he's third man, I don't think he goes on this. He will from a second man position.
I think this is what we're going to see Dignitas evolve more and more into as well. A lot of individual plays to cause a bad save. And just leave someone. I mean, we say just to cause a bad save. Sometimes looking at the players on this team, it could just be one play to take out the entire team and score. But that's where they're going to have the most success. Hobbs has found a huge amount of success, snipes the backline, and takes the goal.
Really good pick up there by Tux. He spotted out Jack waiting on the back corner boost. It was about to respawn, so Jack was on that. Just chilling out for a second. Tux able to take him out and secure the open net as well. SK Gaming within one after being dominated when it comes to pressure so far in the first game.
I gotta find one more. 40 seconds to do it. What a great challenge. Jorius is having fun in this one. Here's Scrub Killer of his opportunity. He's the one that created last time. Look to just continue to add to what he's had. Jorius didn't quite know what he was after. I think he originally wanted an infield and realized no one was quite there for it, so tried to adapt. That's going to bounce out. Jorius easily able to take over. And SK, we said they got 40 seconds to find something. They haven't even managed to find the other side of the field just yet. Finally going to see a little bit. Jorius looks for the challenge and he crunches through it. Dignitas have looked incredibly impressive, Johnny, but they've got to still stay one more time. Oh, that'll do it.
Fantastic. Really good defense from Jorius. He just saw the opening, and I reckon it's an underrated element of, you know, being a player with so much 1v1 history. We always talk about solo plays in offense and how much value that can bring in the 3v3 game, but look at that solo play in defense from Jorius. It's all about judging the distance, picking the angle of the challenge, picking the height of the challenge, and making sure that you get a perfect flip through the ball, because he's in a 1v2 there. Any bad 50-50 is a goal for SK in the closing seconds, and we'd be looking at an overtime probably. But yeah, expertly done by Jorius. Perfect judgment of the distance. You saw the chance to go for the ball and he took it.
For me, that was the best singular game I've seen from this Dignitas roster. I'm hoping this is maybe something that they're looking for in the future. But for SK, I think they now got to switch this up a little bit because they're playing very slowly. They're backing down on these midfield challenges. There's been no real attempt to secure that there. And when you're not doing that, you're not really attacking the one weakness that we've seen from Dignitas so far. And that is when the game speeds up, the rotation and the communication can break down. But if they keep playing at this sort of pace, Dignitas don't need to really communicate all that much about who's going for what and where. You're not going to see those double commits. So for me, SK, they've got to find an extra gear.
Yeah, they're going to need to really press for this if they want to have it in their own control. By the looks of game one, Dignitas are not making those mistakes that we saw from them in the first event of the season. We saw a lot of mistakes positionally from Jorius and Scrub 2 weeks ago. You could, count on, I think, 0 fingers how many they made in that game. They played fantastically, never overcommitting, always focusing their recoveries. Boost management was spot on, communication likewise. So yeah, SK are going to need to go out and try and force some mistakes because Dignitas at the moment don't look like they're going to make any by themselves.
And as always, that starts off by just trying to secure some boost off the backboard. Jorius claims it. Always going to be difficult to find any sort of shooting power now. Another demo on the third man. This is something that SK have found some success with. Scrub Killer currently being hunted. He will be able to avoid it, at least for now. He's got Jack up in support. Looks for the ground pinch. Not quite able to find the angle, but Scrub seems very comfortable at the moment, and he is going to be back to save that shot.
SK Gaming tentative to challenge, and they know they're up against some extremely solid players in the 50-50 game, so they're obviously not trying to throw themselves into challenges against Dig, but they'll have to go for it at some point just to keep Dignitas guessing. Scrub actually panicking a bit here, didn't realize he had a ton of time, and now Yukio with half a chance. He's denied by the bar, a bit of a high touch center. Dignitas take it clear with Jorius down the left-hand flank, but immediately stopped by Ixo. Didn't get the pass in field that he wanted. Now look at Scrub Killer, 1v1, denied by Tox.
Tox immediate on the follow-up. Goal scorer in the last game. Needs some more of that if SK are going to answer back from what was a very impressive game one from Dignitas. Good challenge again from Ixo. Has he got support in the midfield? He looks for Yukio, and he goes for a floating shot. I actually quite like that. He went straight for net. That would have been a little bit of an easier save for the goalkeeper, but this is now the first time SK have had real concentrated pressure across the face of goal. Jack not quite able to win the challenge. Bounces down well. Tox once again gets away. Yukio recovery. They're finding little gaps at the moment. Now an opportunity. Tox over to the wall. It's up to Ixo to find some more pressure. And he has managed to do it at least by stealing some boost as well, but finally Dignitas are going to wiggle their way free.
Yeah, I want to see more of those solo plays coming out of SK Gaming. We talked a lot about Dignitas and what they can do individually on the ball, but you could, say the same thing to a slightly lesser degree with SK Gaming. Here's Ixo, just not able to keep up with the bounce as it came downwards in front of the net. Dignitas really up against it here, forced into their back corner. Love that from them though. Jari is pushing out to mid to grab the mid boost. That leaves back corner boost and just back boost in general for his teammates. So they're finding moments here to get their boost back up to par and also clear the ball to the side. No bad clears down the middle for Dignitas.
And that was the big test, and maybe a lot of Dignitas fans out there wanted to see how that team would do once they were finally under a fair whack of defensive pressure. But both teams looking very good. I've had very few complaints so far. Maybe game one, not quite the right game plan from SK, but they're executing well. Here's Tox. Good pop. He's got it past Scrub Killer. Joris pre-jumps early. Tox realizes it, and he would have wanted to try and take that challenge through the ball. Timing just slightly off, but SK very much in this one. They've got it past a couple of players. Maybe a chance for Yukio to infield it, but he was out of boost. And Dignitas a lot more defensive this time around. Scrub takes his time. There's been a willingness so far from Dignitas to just take a touch, don't just boom it away. Looking to play their way into the other side of the field. That's not a bounce that Tox was expecting. Almost caught SK out.
Tons of pressure for SK Gaming. Is a complete reversal compared to game one positionally. Everything happening in the Dignitas half in this one. But despite that fact, SK Gaming have not really created any clear-cut chances on net. Compare that to Dignitas in the last game. They were choosing whether or not to shoot on target or pass off the crossbar. Plenty of chances. A bit more efficiency needed from SK Gaming. More direct route might be necessary. Dignitas are so good at the slow game. Again, killing time. Scrub Killer baiting challenges in. And when Ixo does arrive, it's a favorable 50 for Dig.
Jarius, no way! Well, Tox is going to make sure that stays out. Does not want to be featured on tomorrow's top plays. On the wrong side of it. That's over to apparently Jack. Yukio tried to cover it, but even then, Jack was just far too quick. He can follow this as well. Instead, just opts for boost. Dignitas choosing their battles wisely thus far, as Tox shoots underneath. Jarius still there. And it looks like we are going to need an overtime for this one. No goal scored within regulation. So we look towards a golden goal.
Dignitas looking comfortable in defense, but definitely about time we saw a bit more of that venom in offense that we saw in the last game. Jack deciding that he's got a better touch on the ball here than Jari is. Safe double commits. They're landing in different positions. SK Gaming right back into the Dignitas offensive corner here as they continue to pressure them, but not really succeeding in creating chances. It's more of the same as we've seen for the rest of game two.
It does feel like SK are kind of in the mindset of if we put enough pressure on, Dignitas will beat themselves.
Oh, there we go.
That has just not been the case. It's apparently Jack just off screen, avoids getting hit. So he maintains relevance in the play. Here's Yukio off the backboard. Where's the follow-up? Tox was on the same side as the ball being played, so it's very difficult to find a shooting angle. There's Scrub. For the first time in quite a while. He's going to try and get his team a little bit of offensive movement. 1 minute of overtime down. Not the challenge Jack would have wanted. He forces Scrub to try and help him out. Scrub will do exactly that. And it's at this sort of pace that SK are having a lot more success, but where is their first big chance going to come from?
Yeah, still no critical mistakes from Dignitas. When whiffs are coming through, they're communicating it nice and early so another player can get involved in the play and cover them. That's another good sign for Dig. I think they're still playing a good game here. That's another miss coming through though. Boost is starting to become more of a problem as SK Gaming advance up the field once again. They've got to try and stop letting Dignitas escape out to mid boost. When they push them back, they're doing a pretty good job of stealing the back corner boost, but Dig are quite happy going for mid to make up for that fact. SK need to just take every single boost pad in sight, not just the back corner ones.
Ixo, powerful clear. On the same side that Jack respawns from, he's ended up missing it, and that's not sort of bounce you need if you want to take an immediate shot. It's rolled away. Nice pass though infield. Scrub Killer easily wins that chase. Tox just floated himself in for nothing, really. And now, ball just would not quite drop for Scrub. But Scrub's having a fantastic time of just transferring the ball across the field. He's very much in control of those dribble plays.
Yeah, still very impressed with how Dignitas are challenging the ball. It's making SK's life difficult, and SK they're playing extremely patiently here. Quite happy to just wait for that golden opportunity to come along, as they only do need the one goal, of course, at this point. But is that risk-averse playstyle going to come back to bite them? Because Dig are handling the pressure extremely well. And this is a completely different team from what we saw 2 weeks ago. Appjack going to use his ceiling here to pass down to Scrub. Comes in for the play. He always shots wide. It was kind of between a pass and a shot there. Ended up being neither, but here's Dignitas again. Ixo deflects the ball high to Tox. SK haven't had to defend much, but now they're having to do a whole lot in a short time span.
Yeah, first real flurry there from Dignitas. Now off the backboard, Yukio, he's called off it by Tox. Fantastic communication there by SK. Something that they absolutely needed. Not the best touch, though. Apparently, Jack still has his flip. He's now got 2 players out just for him, and actually managed to bump Tox into Yukio as well. This is what I like. I think I've been most impressed with Jorius' positioning as well. He's sitting so deep in these sort of positions, just making sure that if anything goes wrong, he can at least run onto the ball. Leaves it. Yeah. Jorius. Oh, he faked out taking a big booming shot initially. And it seemed like SK were pretty aware of that one.
Yeah, the backboard is covered, the net was covered. There were no options for Jorius, so he just baited in the challenge. But it was a good challenge that came towards him from Tox. Well played in that exchange by both players. Ixo on target, denied by Jorius, who's continuing to position brilliantly in this second game especially. Jack's actually floating out to mid here with no boost. Mid going to be available for him once again. Dignitas getting these mid boosts at key moments time and time again. 4 minutes into OT, still no clear-cut chances. No should have been goals. Oh, this might be though. Yukio having to stop dead and get right up in the air to deny Scrub a free run on the ball.
Brilliant heads-up play from Yukio, otherwise that was going to be the goal-scoring opportunity that we've been waiting for. Tox follows it, 4 boost, doesn't care. He wants to keep that pressure going. He does not want to see that blue side of the field anymore. Now off the backboard, first opportunity to really move forward. Yukio didn't want to take it.
Oh!
Instead he was called off. That was brave, but Tox, as sure hands as ever. He's going to be needed yet again. Off to the wall. Scrub Killer ends up just putting it to the side yet again. SK not getting trapped in their own side of the field, though. Very much a different look to what we got in that first game. And now after we've played 10 minutes without a single goal going in, we're still waiting to see whether or not it's going to be a 2-0 lead for Dignitas, or if we're going to go to 1 each. Here's Jack. Looks to outplay the entire team, and Ixo, he's good enough for it.
Yeah, denying his countryman the solo goal. SK Gaming playing such a safe strategy at the moment. Half the time a ball's coming across the center of the Dignitas box, there's not even anybody there for it. They really don't want to lose this game, but are they willing to go out and try and win it? They're not taking the risks with their second man, sitting almost with 2/3.
They've gone full war of attrition right now with Dignitas. We're a very young squad on Dignitas as well, who have got to maintain this discipline. They've done great so far. They've made SK not look like a threat. But one moment of frustration, of boredom, of whatever, could put them in a bit of a bad position. There's Yukio. His shot's too high. Now apparently Jack lets the break away. He flies on the top of Yukio. Can't quite get the reset. And Tox with the challenge. We rumble on. 6 minute overtime play. Yukio's shot once again is not good enough.
Well, there's your opening. Yukio unable to hit the target, and it needed to at least test the keeper there. So few free shots for SK Gaming at the edge of the box. One comes their way, and they've hit the crossbar. Accuracy plaguing them at the moment, but Dignitas making their first mistake of the game. I wonder if that's going to get into their heads now. Are they still going to remain as consistent as they've been up until now? We're about to find out as Appjack denies Ixo his next play on the ball. Jari is, again, clearing to the side. So Dignitas and SK have done very well in this game.
SK's game style is not going to win them any awards for match or series of the year. They won't care because it could very well see them towards a semi-final series. If If this is what it takes, then this is what it takes. Ixo over on the wall, looks for the backboard. Who's going to be there first? Tox, his shot was on target. Scrub Killer meets him halfway. 7 minutes of overtime. Neither team putting a fatal foot wrong. For some of the neutrals out there, for those of you that appreciate clean Rocket League, this has been phenomenal.
Yeah, both teams are just trying to hold on here. Remember, it's SK Gaming who absolutely need a win in this to keep themselves in the running for the major at the end of the split. Dignitas can well, they're in full control if they win here, so this is a much better position to be in. You can see that they're feeling quite comfortable with this. Oh, Jorius pre-jump misses! That's going to be the goal for Tux! Wild pre-jump for Jorius, fails to connect. And did he need to jump here? Oh, he might have, not because it was a great idea, but because he put himself in a really, really bad position, turning to face the play at the last second there, instead of facing his net and having an easy routine clear.
We questioned whether or not they would get that little bit frustrated. And for Jorius, this is what he was doing so good all game long, was heading back, not getting too aggressive, and letting his team reset the rotation. And the one time he makes the wrong decision, he decides to turn, his team is beat for it, 1-0. And this will just give SK that little bit more confidence that this is something that will work.
Well, it's just one of those games that when it works, you look like a genius. You haven't really gone for anything too risky. You've almost played this with 2 third men a lot of the time. SK Gaming just rotating around the halfway line, trying to wait for a Dignitas mistake, which eventually, and I do mean eventually, what was this, a 13-minute game?
It was long.
It happened.
30 minutes, no goals. Like, I don't mind 30 minutes in just regular overtime. It's like a 2-2 game. 13 minutes, no goals.
Yeah, it worked this time, but I've got to say, this is not a play style that you're going to enjoy watching.
We're in for a 2-hour series at this rate.
I mean, it's great for the neutral fan, but SK Gaming fans who are just thinking, we need a win here, or else we're pretty much out of the major. We've got to go and take these chances. When you get shots, when you get center balls, somebody needs to be there for it. It is, I think, more reliable than waiting for another Dignitas mistake like this. But that being said, Dignitas making those mistakes happened a couple of weeks ago, not so much today. So that being a plan for SK Gaming coming into this matchup is not necessarily a bad thing. I just think they have to adapt from that, because Dignitas are not making those mistakes with the same regularity anymore.
So almost, to go on the opposite side of that, as we do go off the backboard. Here's
hang on.
Oh, he almost put the hammer through the wall. It's Jorius. There we are. A little bit of a makeup save from the last one. And now we've got Jack moving to the other side of the field. He looks to try and outplay everybody as the backboard read was completely missed. But in terms of, gameplay style, yes, Dignitas has been fantastic so far, but it just takes that one bit of frustration to start seeing more and more mistakes, and that will be a frustrating loss for Jorius and for the rest of Dignitas. So we could get more now. This might be almost a devolution of what we've got from them. It's up to Dignitas to make sure that they keep cool heads.
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot about Dignitas from this series, because they started off playing brilliantly, then one critical mistake has lost them the game. And it was a mistake against the run of play. Jorius was positioning really well throughout that entire game and throughout this entire series, and then he makes a massive positional mistake to allow the ball to go straight into his net from a long shot. Yeah, like you say, will they spiral now? Downwards? We're about to find out. I don't think so.
Critical, moment management, it's something. Rocket League's very difficult, as we go off the crossbar. Wants to keep your head at times. That one, once again, Dignitas' shooting accuracy not quite where they would want it to be.
Wow. What a touch by Jorius.
So good. Oh, no, you can't do that! Apparently, Jack has annihilated SK Gaming!
Wow. Well, that's the danger of waiting for a Dignitas mistake. You might get hit with a massive play before the mistake comes. What an unbelievable touch from Jorius to set this up, and then the control from Jack as well. We are going to have a pause
by the way,
here.
Yeah, no, we're still getting over that goal.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of time to talk about it now, as there has been a pause called, but we'll find out. We'll update you on what's happening with that as soon as we know. Still, though, really, really great touch there by Jorius, and the control for Jack as well. phenomenal.
We want to confirm, by the
stuff.
way, spikes are not on for this game mode, okay? That's just what Jack is capable of doing. Just sticks the ball to himself. And that's really, he was almost at like the boost before he even started turning right. And he's still not even capable of doing that. He hooks himself back around. It is mind-boggling what Jack is capable of doing when you don't go and meet him at the halfway point. I mean, this is such an interesting test for both of these teams. SK, I'm sure SK fans are they're just like, could you guys stop talking about like Dignitas's credentials? Now this is a test for Dignitas. You know, this is a very big test as well for SK and whether or not they're able to really show up as a representative of Europe over at Stockholm. So as a team, I've been very, very impressed. I've had, I mean, this in terms of all these players, are maybe players that have been bigged up, but haven't quite hit maybe their full potential. Yukio, Ixo, Tox are all players I would have put down at some point and just go, okay, this is someone that could be a big threat in the future. And now they've come together looking to almost fulfill their potential. Yeah,
the Dignitas story is obviously going to be talked about more because they're the team who made a roster change. SK Gaming have stuck with the same team because it looked like it was working at the end of the last season. So it makes sense that they would continue to give this a go. Dignitas, what they were doing wasn't working, so they've made a change. But you're absolutely right. SK Gaming have a very interesting story as well. And whether or not they can mirror what Vitality have done earlier on today, yeah, it remains to be seen. They need a win here to stay in control of their own destiny, essentially. If they lose this, they're so far behind, I think, 10 other teams, and that is not somewhere you need to be if you're looking to get top 5 with only one event
to go. It goes by so quick this season, doesn't it? Last season, yeah, you know, you get yourself a top 8, fantastic. You're pretty much guaranteed to get into those top 16 or any spot to get into what was, you know, regional only majors. And this time around, one bad performance is all it takes. And both of these teams have done a great job of maintaining a level of consistency that is going to be absolutely required if you want to be up at that level. So yeah, I mean, looking at these teams, by the way, if I want to try and complete somebody's commentary bingo card, did you know Yukio used to play on Dignitas? All right, got that one out of the way. As always, I'm sure he wants to try and get that win against his old team. But I'm sure somebody was out there waiting for someone to bring it up. And yes, there you are. Also, did you know Yukio plays on keyboard and mouse? There we are. We're adding another one.
There you go.
For you on your bingo card. I'm sure somebody's got the completed version of it at this point. But for Ixo, I want to talk a little bit about Ixo because for me, I mean, we've been watching him as a player develop even since Gfinity Elite Series days, if we want to go all the way back. And we kept looking at him going, wow, this kid is phenomenal. Yeah. And then we waited. And then we waited. And okay, he's not in RLCS this season. And we kept waiting. And when's it going to be? You know, when do we finally get to see Ixo, the version of Ixo that we've had and been expecting since 2018 almost?
Yeah, Ixo is definitely a really interesting player. Of course, making a name for himself in the 1v1 scene. But I think clearly from the very beginning, a player who looked like he could transition into threes because he was playing 1v1 with such an aerial focus. And that was one of the criticisms back in the day of 1v1 mains is they're too grounded, they're not good enough in the air. And you combine that with the lack of team experience, competitive experience, and rotation experience, not viable. But Ixo played such an aerial focused solo game. It just made sense that, of course, he's going to be great if he can just find the right team to play threes with, and he's definitely on a good one now. Not the first team that he's had that's had significant success, though. Of course, last season he was doing great things with Matane, and I forget who was it Arju from the beginning of that season?
Mate, there was so many teams.
I think it was.
Last season, my mind was just all over the place. Quick news, by the way, for people. That goal is going to be disallowed. So, unfortunately, the phenomenal ball control will not lead to a goal as there was a player that was lagging prior to that one going in. So, we'll be kicking back off at 3 minutes 16 with 0 goals on the board. So, yeah, that's the way things are looking like on this one. I'm hoping no more 13-minute games of no goals going in.
I hope
it was nice. It was a nice gimmick for one game.
Another one.
No. What are you doing to me, Johnny?
Well, okay, so everybody, of course, Dignitas is such a popular team, and it is a heartbreaker for a goal to go away from them. But of course, if your third man, if the third man in the other team disconnects on his way back to try and cover the net there, then that's obviously not a play that ended up working out the way that it maybe would have, and that's why this goal's been taken away. Still looking at Joria's and Appjack's outplays in that moment, they were phenomenal regardless. Yeah. But yeah, that third man coming in for SK actually lagged out on his way back, so whether or not he would have been able to cover the play is a possibility. That's a fair ruling to put us back at 0-0 here.
I'm just really happy we're back into this game because, I was running out of topics, and the last thing I'd want to talk about is how me and you got all of our predictions right so far today, and that Colden and Achieves, well, they didn't. Why would we ever want to bring too much attention to that? Instead, we're going to want to bring attention to some of these passing plays that we've got from Dignitas. We've got Jurius now on the ball. He wants an outplay of his own, and having absolutely none of that. We didn't see many midfield challenges in the first game. Not a mistake that SK are going to make again.
Yeah, really got to try and challenge as a team when you're playing against Dignitas. You can't have one isolated challenge and then another one coming in behind it. Jori is now denied by the bar. Ixo just had to watch that one. Joined us as a spectator for a few plays there, but yeah, Dignitas not going to change the plan. They're still trying to get the pressure on. They're far more willing to go for it when they get these opportunities than SK Gaming.
SK crossbar coming in very clutch so far. Scrub. Oh, what a second touch. It's 2v1. Tox is up against it here, and he still is able to hold strong enough to keep it out. What a play by Tox.
Yeah, really good read there by Tox. Of course, there's a slight threat of a direct goal there from Scrub, but Tox identified the infield pass as the greater threat, closed it down, made himself as big as possible, and was able to block the shot. SK Gaming quite happy to do that. They're going to keep sitting back in defense and trying to survive this pressure. Plan has not changed, and why would it after just winning a game before this one? Dignitas likewise. I think still overall I've been more impressed with them because they are the more threatening team. Now here's that Jack, double off the bar.
Crossbar again!
Oh, he really should have been able to put that one on target, but Dignitas are getting close here time and time again.
That crossbar, I'm starting to think it's a couple of inches lower than usual.
Whoa,
regulation.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
What?
How on earth has that gone so far on the other side of the field? I did not have the camera angle to fully pick that one up. Looking forward to seeing that one again later. But still 0-0. That's the main thing from that play. Still 0-0.
Looks like Appjack just landed on the goalkeeper, but the shot behind him was coming in so slowly that there was time for another goalkeeper to jump up, pinch the ball off his own crossbar or post, instead of the entire length of the field. So the shot ended up being slow enough for SK to deal with. That's not a slow one though. Tox deciding to go for a reset on it so he can recover more quickly. No boost in the back corner for him when he comes back around for it. Look how well SK Gaming are covered in those infield passes though. And a massive 50-50 for Yukio. Gives Ixo a tight angle shot in the middle for Tox. Denied by a dig.
SK looking for another 1-0 game. Off the side. Apparently Jack too far forward to run onto a shot. And so there's a little bit of a messed up rotation for Dignitas. They'll be able to deal with it quite easily. SK didn't really go all out trying to pursue 0-second goals. So we've got ourselves another overtime. And we could potentially be here for quite a while if the last game's anything to go by.
Well, Dignitas right back in control again. It's going back and forth here. Game 1 and 3 have been entirely Dignitas attacking. Game 2, SK Gaming were able to establish that midfield line and deny Dignitas any opportunities on net for the majority of it. And it was, long enough to be 3 games by itself almost, but right back to Dignitas having control here. SK Gaming in survival mode.
We did get confirmation, by the way. That was the longest on-stream overtime we've had from Europe. NA have had a couple of very, very long ones. But for Europe, that's a record. There's apparently Jack looking to try and record himself another goal as he looks to take out Ixo. Jorius, far side, Scrub Killer takes this opportunity. That's not the best first touch. He's now got to try and recover the ball. Just took that ball back onto the floor, and very difficult to create a play once you've done that.
Yeah, it looked like they weren't on the same page. Scrub was trying to pass the ball to Jorius. Jorius wanted to run on ahead of him and go for a bump. You know, both players making they have a good idea there, each of them separately. They need to both make the same play. Either one would have worked, but if you're both on different pages, SK Gaming are going to be just fine. And SK Gaming did a good job here. Yukio trying to base in a challenge, able to outplay Scrub when he does come forward, but Scrub not diving in there, just pressuring the ball and then leaving. Dignitas, again, able to recover so quickly that they're able to pressure so much higher. Jarius makes it 1-0, and that'll be the game. Just too fast in the recovery. Look at that. Winning two 50-50s and then getting the outplay. That's a straight up 1v3, Shogun.
He didn't even need to recover. He got the first touch off the wall. He was already on his way. Full pelt heads towards the ball, and Dignitas have managed to overcome a very frustrating almost 20 minutes of gameplay for themselves. And they have got themselves back onto the board, 1-0 in this game. And Johnny, we were talking about this is going to be probably the biggest mental test that we have seen from Dignitas. That one was a small pass for them. Now they just got to keep this going for 2 more games.
Yeah, I'd maybe even say a medium pass at least.
I mean, they overcame, what, 20 minutes without scoring, as well as having a goal taken away.
Yeah.
And they didn't look like they were going to start double committing, so fair play, Dig.
And also the Jarius misplay. When you lose a long overtime like that off the back of a just really careless positional mistake, it can just be something that sticks around in your mind and makes you second guess every other time that you advance to join your team in attack. But Dignitas don't look like they're bothered by that. Jarius very happy to move forward, you know, just putting that in the passing. You know, mistakes are made. Now let's go on and get on with it. We're here to try and take it one game at a time. Really good, really impressive stuff from Dignitas all throughout today. SK Gaming, with this defensive play style, they can win doing this, but if they do, it will be because Dignitas are messing up, not because SK are going out there and forcing the mistakes.
Which, to be fair to them, given what we'd seen up till today, does sound like a winning strategy for SK. But right now, for maybe the first time, Dignitas, we've had nothing but praise for them so far. And I want to try and keep this up because it's been a very, very long series already, but it's only half the job done.
The Dignitas are, again, able to establish pressure here. Jarius getting a very nice boost to respawn from the opposition corner while he was completely out of the game here. Oh, hold on a second. There's tons of space for Scrub. That's a good covering rotation by Yukio to go right back towards the near post there. Both his teammates were in the area, but nobody pressuring the ball for SK. Again, playing that almost double third man role. Need to get more active with their ball pressure.
That's it.
Oh, that might be it. Ixo's going to open the scoring. You know, they're really not making this easy on themselves, but they're taking their chances here and there. Ixo saw the bad clear by Jarius, saw the open net, and he was able to put it on target with enough speed.
Yeah, phenomenal for the outplay and just being quick enough and capable of reading where the play was going. This is maybe Dignitas in this game also opening up the rotation a bit. They've been very individual play focused. Now they're getting the passing plays out a lot more. So that is now going to put more of a bit of stress.
Oh my
There are some pace around here somewhere, Tox.
That is just out of this world. You know, it's crazy to think that that's just going to be commonplace. Probably by the end of the season, that's the only way that players are going to drive on walls.
So, Johnny, for people that may be seeing that for the first time, what is he trying to accomplish with that move?
So, you know, he's able to just generate acceleration in a position where it wouldn't otherwise be possible. He's got no boost and he's on a wall where you can actually wave dash almost from a standstill. You can just jump off the wall and immediately wave dash back onto it and do that again and again and again. You can actually build up speed, or at least threaten to build up speed is what he's doing here. Kind of forces Dignitas to think about challenging him.
Is that in it again?
Wow,
that's in again.
2-0 SK Gaming.
Dick, did we compliment you too much? What is happening? Is it? I don't know where their rotation is. I don't even know where to start with knowing where that one went wrong.
It was a big bump on Scrub as he came in to receive an infield pass. So SK Gaming did make a really nice play there. Scrub was trying to catch the ball or trying to make himself available as the third man for a passing play. Jory is almost getting one back there. SK Gaming continuing to defend the net effectively. Yeah, you know, credit to SK Gaming, they're covered in the infield pass. It really just shows why it can be risky to infield pass to your third man. If the pass doesn't connect,
oh no way!
Your net's wide
that
open.
Has to go in.
Too good. SK Gaming defending really well here. Goalkeeping is phenomenal from these guys.
That is also for the second goal, where SK have found them on the infield pass. Now that we have seen Dignitas go for more team plays, they've also become much more open because there is that critical crossover point when you go for the pass where that ball is open for anybody. It's whoever gets there first. And SK have been just that little bit quicker so far. Passing the ball down. It's off the backboard, actually. An opportunity here for Dig. Once again, Joyce is very far forward. He's going to need the help as Yukio smothers the shot from apparently Jack. Just 2 minutes left. We could be looking at 2 each series. Really starting to put the pressure on as we go off the backboard yet again. Scrub Killer almost found the angle, but as always, SK Gaming goal line defense on point.
Yeah, really good defense from SK Gaming. They're intercepting Dignitas passing plays and they're getting in the way of the solo plays in game number 4. You know, the more I see this, the more I can see it being a valid strategy. If they can get into game 6 and game 7 against Dignitas, then you're probably going to get more mistakes out of them. So this very defensive playstyle where you're waiting could work. That's not a mistake though. That's just SK being brilliant. Great passing from SK and a great finish as well. Ixo back to himself off the joint and they're up by 3.
It's just like sprints from SK. They are at a standstill for so long defending on their own goal line. And once they get out, they are so quick. It's almost difficult to get used to the changes of pace that SK have been bringing to the field. Incredibly coordinated. Well done so far in the boost management. SK have found a formula that has worked and is getting them a very comfortable victory thus far in game number 4. That's off the crossbar for the first time. Dignitas at least going to be helped out by the woodwork. There's Tox. Well, if you want to know how confident Tox was, he sat still and waited for it.
Yeah, really good timing. He knows that 10-second respawn window to perfection. Another infield pass to a third man from Dig. They're really going for it now with not a lot of time left, and SK defending as well as they have in this game. Dignitas have to just throw all caution to the wind if they're going to have a chance to come back. But what an interesting series we have now. I feel like up until this point, I've been more impressed with Dignitas overall. But SK have managed to get into a tie should this continue as is. And now in the tail end, like I said already, I think Dignitas are going to make a few more mistakes. It's a higher pressure situation, the business end of a series. And that is something that SK will be able to capitalize on. So it might end up paying off. Their plan for today might come to fruition.
It's the time bomb. It really is for SK, and they're hoping that the further this ticks, the more that we'll see Dignitas unravel. This was the perfect version of their game plan. As for Dignitas, their attempts to begin using each other in the midfield to find those infield passes, to maybe rely a little bit less on individually outplaying, simply did not work. 3-0. A truly dominant SK Gaming victory, and they joined Dignitas on 2 wins.
Yeah, you know, opening the game here with 1-0 for SK was a similar mistake to what happened for Dignitas in game 2. It was just the third man not covered in the net, or at least not being available to cover the net. And that's, of course, the difficulty of being the third man in a position in Rocket League is you kind of want to half and half your chances. You want to half commit to offense so that if it does end up being a chance for your team, you're there for it. But you also want to half cover the long shot, because if it goes wrong, you want to give yourself a chance to come back. And that's a balance Dignitas have not been able to find. I think it was actually Jack in this position. He was just too far away from the net. And when the pass doesn't connect between his teammates, there's a shot on target that he can't save. So that's the one thing Dignitas need to try and cover a bit more. Apart from that, though, I am still very impressed with what they've been able to do today. And SK Gaming, man, the nerves of these guys to just sit on the goal line and accept the shots again and again and just save every single one of them. That's not not a fun play style to have to do for your mental health. It's really very, very stressful. So credit to them. They are doing this the hard way, and they've managed to tie up the series.
And this, apparently, according to our stats guy, Direct, is not something new from them. 23 games so far for SK in this event. They've only outshot their opponents 4 times. This is not the Dignitas strategy that they've suddenly employed here. This just might be the perfect strategy to beat Dignitas.
Yeah, it's definitely how Tox likes to play, and it's something that Yukio has done a lot in the past as well. Ixo seemingly quite happy to just get on board with that, even though it's not something that you associate with Ixo. Just sitting in net and making saves. Oh, what a save by Scrub under pressure from the bump as well. This is the key game here. Dignitas have been putting themselves in front, losing the lead. Putting themselves in front, losing the lead. Now, a chance for SK to put themselves in front for the first time in the series.
Be very curious how open Dignitas want this rotation to be. They are very capable of getting these team plays to work, but we've also mentioned it a few times where it seems like players have different ideas in offense. Somebody wants to go for the individual outplay, somebody wants to go for the pass, and very often they just see the offense stifled by themselves. As you do see Jack trying to find some way to squeeze the ball over to Jorius. They need to be making the right decisions, and the right decisions to find a demo. How on earth is this not in? Finally, Jorius bundles the ball over the line.
Huge demo from Dig. And then Jack waiting for the ball to come across the face of the goal there so he can score it. It didn't arrive in time, but somehow it still stayed alive for Jorius. Really nice control by him, dodging a demo and putting the ball in the bottom corner. Fantastic stuff from Dignitas. Almost got away from them, but not this time.
Oh, what a pass! And somehow, SK are always ready for this. They do not just focus on the ball. They have always got eyes on, all right, who's potentially around? Who can we see the pass going off to? It's very simple. When you see any of these three players from Dignitas coming towards you with an edge, we'll just go, all right, I've only got to be ready for a flip reset or a block. No, they have been more than ready to see everything else. Now off the backboard, apparently Jack pops the ball on, Tox going to put the ball up, and this has been a position for SK where they found less success. When Dignitas have got players back, SK have not really opened them up. Maybe an opportunity here, though, as that drops down. It's on the goal line, and his player, Tox, is already on his way back. But that was the first real time that SK have looked threatening in that position.
What an unbelievable save by Apjack, though. It almost looked like two SK Gaming players were queuing up to score. Apjack comes in between them and pinches the ball off the bar, just squashed it against the bar more so to keep it away from danger. And he did that on a recovery as well. That's unreal. Dignitas back into attack. They're going to have so much confidence at the moment because a couple things have gone their way in this game, and they've had a couple of huge plays. Got to be careful with that infield pass, though. They were getting a lot of those intercepted earlier. Is it time to start just shooting or hitting the backboard just to mix things up, keep SK guessing?
And we did see Dignitas going towards the backboard in game one. Couldn't quite find the right decision-making as to when to put the ball off the backboard or when to try and shoot on net. It's always worth trying once again. Scrub Killer pre-jumps, find a stop. 1 goal lead, looking more and more shiny as we tick towards 0 seconds. Although Jack has just jumped, he's not got anything. Ixo, an opportunity to really try and flex those 1v1 skills. Couldn't find anything, but Yukio, he's got the follow-up!
Whoa!
And there is go. I think there was an opportunity created by a player potentially lagging, so that's why Yukio had so much time. But for the moment, at the time, a little bit terrified. Man. Yeah, Yukio did kind of miss it, so maybe Yukio is quite happy for this as well.
He totally beamed it, so I mean, that's not going to be quite as much of a talking point as this the Apjack goal. Because there wasn't a goal here. It's just a total open net miss from Yuki. He probably didn't realize it was open. He probably thought, I mean, you do actually have to think in Wasteland, is there somebody hiding in that near post? Because it's, it's transparent when you're looking out of it. It's not transparent when you're looking into it. It's one thing that is different map to map in Rocket League. Manfield, you can see through the post from the outside. Wasteland, you can't. Tokyo, you can't. I think Beckwick Park, you can. You've always got to take this into account. Can you hide inside that near post area?
Yeah.
And the opponent actually just can't see your nameplate.
This is the mix-up of trying to do commentary with Johnny Boy, by the way, is that when he says, oh, we're over on Wasteland, it's either going one of two ways. Either it's a very good analytical point as to you can't see people in the goal, or he's just going to turn around to you and say, you might have sand in your eyes.
That's true.
This is just what commentary with Johnny Boy is like.
I don't think it would be that. That's like terrible.
You've absolutely done that to me before, mate.
The references can't be that bad, are they? Man, I've really fallen off, but we're gonna get back into the game hopefully shortly. Dignitas have the lead at the moment in game number 5, which we will resume.
Who do Dig? I don't see a registered, because we're hearing that one of the players is lagging. Do Dig?
Yeah.
I can't find it listed anywhere. Dignitas' substitute. Who is that?
Please tell me it's Jesse. Is it Jesse?
Please tell me it's Jesse.
If it's Jesse, yeah, I think SK Gaming are in a lot of trouble because SK, of course, they've got Yuki on the team. Do you guys understand how tilted Yukio's going to be if Jesse joins the lobby to play against him? Yukio's going to, he's not going to be able to focus and play the consistent style that they're going for right now. I'm all for it. I'm really keen on seeing Jesse back in competitive Rocket League. I don't even know if he's the
undefeated in his entire career, not even lost a single game.
He's a legend. We're going to have to wait and see, though. I imagine that they're not going to go the Jesse route because they're saving that one for later. They can handle SK without him.
I love how the moment Jesse gets brought up, it's just all love. But it looks, at least to me, like Jack might be sorted out. So we'll see how that's going. But we're going to go to a quick break, make sure everything is all clean and tidy because there is a very few amount of games left here. It is so important towards heading towards Stockholm. So we're going to go to a break and get everything ready to come right back.
You lift me off of the ground. I close my eyes and I wait for the come down. I used to live in the now. Now I'm wiser to think that we are bulletproof. Teens with thicker skin, now we just bruise. We were hopeless and we're hopeless now. But I remember we threw our fists in the air singing. I remember when we were kids, never scared, yeah. And the sky went dark, we used our hearts to guide us. You showed me you care. And I remember, yeah, I remember. Now, but
welcome back, everybody, to the BMW Rocket League Open. We've got the players back, we have got the server tested, and we're hoping to jump back in for our game over at Wasteland. Johnny, this has been a war between these two teams, and unfortunately with most wars, it's not always super exciting, but this has been a proper game of determination and attrition between both these squads.
Yeah, it's really, I think, just Dignitas versus Dignitas almost, because SK are playing so defensively. They're waiting for those mistakes. They're trying to intercept the plays Dignitas are making and kind of counterpunch them. So as long as Dignitas don't take any unnecessary risks, such as infield passing to your third man, leaving your net open when you're supposed to be covered in it, that really limits what SK are able to do. We know that SK are capable of some big passing plays. Oh, that's a really good save. It looked like it would be more of a routine angle, but ended up being a really tough one. And well done by Tux to keep it out the net. Still 1-0 for Dignitas, final minute approaching. They're trying to put themselves on double match point and really jeopardize SK's fall split.
Tox on defense has been outstanding, but with the scoreline as it is and the time where it is, it's a bit of an empty bit of praise for him right now. He's on the back line once again. He's staring down Jorius, and I'll tell you what, if you're on 1v1 against Jorius, pretty helpful to have a teammate come and take them out, as also finds a bump. Tox all over the field at the moment. Ixo tries to go for the outplay. And now it's going to be up to SK. When do they start sending the house towards this opposing side of the field? Because they've got 45 seconds to find a goal.
Yeah, and I wonder what that looks like for SK. It really is as simple, in my opinion, as sending someone. Just have someone waiting in the middle when the center ball comes through, because right now you've got 2 players waiting at the halfway line to intercept clears when the center ball goes in. Like, here we are, Tox is gonna go. It makes sense for the final minute. Yukio's also joined. Dignitas able to get the saves. You know, that I guess answers the question. Are they willing to commit their team? Yes they are, but is it too late?
My problem was that, yes, they sent them, but it was late. Yukio wasn't ready.
Late.
And there was a split second there where the bump on the goalkeeper was around and they had the chance to try and take the shot in. That's going to bounce off the backboard. Tox over on that wall. He's going to have Yukio in the midfield to really game out, but apparently Jack is also fully aware of that situation. So they decided to cut straight in front of him, and that is going to drop down. Dignitas are on match point.
Dignitas in such a good position now, not just in this series, but in this split as a whole. Endpoint already out of this event. That leaves it wide open for Dignitas to catch up to them in points and really just secure that fall split top 5 for the major at the end of it. As for SK, they're in big trouble here. If they lose, just to remind you, they are going to be behind, I think, 10 teams, and not by a small margin as well. They're going to be way back, so they'd essentially need to win the last event of the split and have results go in their favor if they can't get a win in this series.
It's ridiculous where we're at a point now where get top 4. And top 4 is pretty much the golden zone for every single team that are in. If you can keep doing that, you're looking very likely that you're heading over to represent Europe. As for Dignitas, we are seeing a team slowly starting to mold into what we're hoping they're going to be. And we're hoping we're going to get a form of Dignitas, which, I mean, just a top-level Dignitas just seems right in Rocket League. It's not the same without them. It's the same with a team like an NRG or a Vitality. You're kind of hoping that these teams will always find their form, as apparently Jack looks to find the shot. And if you want to win the match, that's a great way to start.
Scrubkiller beats Yukio to the punch and gets a little bit of a bump on Tox there, who was coming in to catch the ball on the backboard, something that he's done brilliantly all series long. But that contact Scrub got on him, forced him to miss, and Appjack's there to score the open net. Well, it's only open in the left side, but that's open enough for Appjack. I think he'd rather it that way than completely open, to be honest. Good bump there by Yukio on Scrub. Couldn't get the ball, but he was able to take the player out of the game. Dignitas passing the test once again, and it is a real test. In terms of play styles, SK are the team who punish mistakes. Dignitas made a whole lot of those 2 weeks ago, but today they are keeping it together to a sufficient level, and they do it for another 4 minutes.
Oh, Jack didn't quite nail the half flip. Managed to get it better the second time around, especially with a bit of support. Joris able to recover on the wall. Is what you expect from Dignitas so far. Constant recoveries. Apparently Jack did pre-jump. Didn't quite expect Scrubkiller to find another shot, but this is where Dignitas want to be. A slow, methodical attack with SK stuck on their own goal line, much like we saw from game number 2. And they are, so far, keeping this up very well. Scrubkiller forces 2 players to challenge. As you see, Joris, he doesn't want to take the immediate shot, like some teams might want to, but didn't get anything on the follow-up challenge. But one thing we are noticing here, Johnny, the team plays have been wiped off the playlist. No way did Dignitas want to be caught on the infield pass again.
Yeah, they just don't need to take that risk, especially with the 1 goal lead already intact. I'm sure if they were trailing by 1, they'd think a bit more about it, but they are just focusing on keeping that 3rd man in position and keeping the recoveries coming through. As long as they could do that, that forces SK's hand. It forces SK to step out of their comfort zone, which is to defend for 5 minutes and then intercept a key shot from long distance. Almost half the game gone now. Dignitas still in full control.
Off the backboard, Tox straight over to Scrubkiller. Tox doing just enough to put the Scot off his shot. Good clear, but we need to reiterate here, no matter how close they got in the previous game. Oh,
whoa.
Wait a minute! There's the challenge, and Yukio has got us 1 each.
Well, that'll just about do it. You know, Chori is again out of the 3rd man position, but I don't think he was too far out for that to be on him. Scrubkiller wanted a piece of that ball. Probably better to just let it go past him, because all he's done here is deflect it on target. And now we are half the game.
Are SK going to score a single goal from the other side, like on the other side of the field? All of this, that was the midfield. That's about as close as we got.
Yeah, they've scored one. The passing play, I think, in Utopia, that was inside Dignitas half. But you are right, most of their goals are just long shots and snipes, interceptions.
You got the feeling that if SK were going to put this game back in the balance, that was the way it was going to happen. Just one moment where the challenge goes completely against Dignitas. And SK, they don't have to go all out on the offense. They are right back into this.
Oh, well play.
I've been very impressed by Tox. The whole team on SK has been very well, but Tox has really stood out to me.
Yeah, he's I think, the natural in this playstyle that they're going for. Just a purely defensive playstyle and relying on mechanics to match what your opponents are sending towards you. But, you know, the full SK team able to throw down the gauntlet to Dignitas here, just one goal away from turning this one around, and that's almost the goal right there. So it bounces off the crossbar. Dignitas were helpless, just watching it and hoping. A bit more of a part to play in the next attack as Joria's pre-jump sends SK back to the blue.
Yukio, has he got Tox to aim for? Instead, he wants to go all the way by himself off the backboard. Oh, what a save by Scrubkiller. Now the follow-up for top of Ixo. Pony Jack is there on the goal line to scramble the ball away. SK Gaming, as always, sprint out of their own side of the field and they cause havoc. There's the infield pass over to Ixo, well read by apparently Jack. And now it's an opportunity from the counter-attack off the backboard. Not all that quickly done, though. And SK are going to be able to recover.
Yeah, SK Gaming just accepting the ball in the back corner here. Dignitas didn't want to really go for that too much. Joria's flip reset. No commitment to the play, though. He was too far away from it. Dignitas just going for these little boost steals and bumps as they leave the offensive half. They're not as defensive even now in a 1-1 game as SK Gaming. Still going for this. Still trusting their mechanics and their solo playability to get them out of this awkward position.
Off the wall, Tox. He won the second touch. Now it's basically set up for Jorius, who really should have caught that one better.
Yeah.
In the last few moments, we might have another overtime to head on into. Tox, I'm sure he's just going to try and guide this ball away from apparently Jack. He does exactly that. So Dignitas get this goal and they move on to the semi-finals. If they do not, we head over to Champions Field for the first time today.
Looks like first chance to SK Yukio. Beating up Jack to the ball. Scrub's going to collect it, though. Ixo's able to go right over the top of him, though. These 50-50s Dignitas are trying to force. Not working out every time as SK up the pace here. Look how much space Dignitas have got. Scrubkiller using every single piece of it. Great challenge by Ixo going out to meet them. Trying to shut down these air dribble plays before they get started.
One goal is all it takes to head over to the BMW Open semi-finals. Great challenge again, but opens up a bit of a gap there for Jorius. Scrubkiller, he's going to go and try and find Tox. Unfortunately for him, two players back. Yukio, how on earth have SK held their nerve for as long as they have, and they're still up against it here?
Oh my.
Couple of pinball shots between everyone in the midfield. Scrubkiller waits for his chance. It's not the most powerful, but Yukio scrambles the ball away at least now. Drops down Jorius! And he's taken it for Dignitas as they move on to the semi-finals.
Yeah, Yukio just trying to pop the ball up for a teammate to clear, but unfortunately, Ixo and Tox have contacted on each other, and the ball just comes right down for Jorius to put away. Dignitas do take it. They avoid making too many mistakes in this one. You know, there was a few mistakes here and there, but what a massive improvement